At the time, the country's sporting structures were divided along racial lines with separate leagues and unequal access to facilities. Despite these challenges, sport became one of the few platforms where unity could begin to grow. In areas such as Katutura, football matches drew passionate and diverse crowds, creating a shared space for connection and identity.
I tell you, I hardly saw, except for two clubs, SKW and Remlets, when they were still in the Premier League. I hardly saw there being a purposeful attempt to divide fans. We would sit anywhere, but then there was also a matter of preference. For instance, when SKW was still in the Premier League and we would play at Independence Stadium, they would go to the northern side of the western pavilion, the orange chairs. It's just a matter of preference that they could make their noise on their own. You would find African Stars fans, they would go to the eastern side. And maybe that's symbolic because Omaheke is on the eastern side. When you find Tigers, they are on the southern side. They are on the western side of the southern side of the pavilion. But you would find pockets of people sitting everywhere. You would then, in other jurisdictions, have people being told that area is just for Club X and that area is just for Club Z. There was nothing like that in Namibia pre and post-independence.
For independence, I don't know, because of maybe everyone was staying in this area. There was not really, we were not divided. The only division was, you know you are white or you are black. So there was not much. When you go to the games, you will go attend your games and come back, because it was hardly mixed. It's only when national teams you will hear there is a Namibian 11 or whatever. That's the only time we will miss most of the time. The only time one have experience you are black is when I once go to Independence Stadium, wanted to attend athletics, school athletics. They did nothing, but they physically they have done nothing to you. But the way they look at you, you will realize you don't belong here. So then you just make sure, okay, I'm not welcome here, you go. But when it comes to football, you could go easily. When you come into town, there was no issues. So we also have our own leadership that makes sure that we go and play our games. Whether it's football, netball, whatever we did, we go out and do without being interrupted because of our skin color. So at the end of the day, independence really has just complement what we have done already. The biggest thing that came with independence was everyone could apply for a passport, where you could go out and with pride go and represent your country. In the past, you would have the South African one, but it was not given to everyone. So with independence, we knew this is our country. I deserve to represent my country at any given time, and that is what has happened. But in the past, no, we have not experienced. It will be isolated cases if there was. I don't know, I cannot talk on behalf of other people. Mine was once off, and the others, whenever I want to go to sports, I will go out and enjoy myself. There was no reason to be afraid to go into town and attend sports.
For many, supporting a team went beyond the game. It became a symbol of togetherness during a divided era. Some athletes and sporting organizations also took a stand against segregation, aligning themselves with the liberation movement led by SWAPO. These efforts helped strengthen the broader call for equality and independence. Namibia's exclusion from international sport further united citizens as athletes and fans shared the dream of representing a free nation on the global stage.
When we get our independence, the Prime Minister, then the late comrade Hagekengov, the third president of the country, he told us we are breaking the barriers. And that was enough for us when he said also, go out there and make sure that everyone enjoy the fruit of independence and make sure that everyone benefits from the sport. And that is what we are still doing. That's why we are continuing doing. People might find out, why is this still in sport? But that we got a mandate of instruction, what to do with sport. And that is what is still driving us to be in the sport. But at the end of the day, really, we hardly have that issues. That's why you could see in the national teams, it will look at football, netball, that was the permanent ones. You still get white and black athletes representing our country.
Founder member of the Namibian Women Football League. Back then it was not a popular thing to see women girls, young girls playing football, not popular at all. I remember that the meetings we had no structures, there was no officers for us. We would meet somewhere at the zoo park, trying to nurture this idea of starting women football in Namibia, while it was not really much something very fashionable to do. But you had a lot of ladies that are currently also now in senior positions within the NFA that really believed in this idea of starting women football.
As independence approached, sport increasingly reflected a united Namibia with more integrated teams and a growing sense of national pride. Sport not only entertained, but also helped lay the foundation for unity, a spirit that carried the nation into independence on March 21, 1990.
Was formed for in 1963 and its subsequent conversion into the African Union a few years ago in South Africa.